All right. Do we want to take the last call we have on the line?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let's talk to Jesse in New York. Jesse, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I didn't really want to change the topic of the show or anything, and I know it's near the end, so I wasn't sure if it was the greatest time to call in, but...
No, we'd love to hear from you. We're definitely, whatever secular sexuality kind of topic hits you, let's do it.
Yeah. No, I was just calling because I'm trying to gauge when would be a good time. I know it's different for everyone, but I'm trying to have like outsider perspective on whether or not I should attempt to keep trying to mend my relationship with my family at this point, who doesn't really, they're not aboard like me being trans. So like, I don't know if it would be like decent for me to break off the relationship or continue to try at this point. I know it's really, it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, but like when is enough? And am I not doing myself any favors at this point? Or, you know, is it, I don't know. But anyway, sorry, I'm just rambling.
Yeah. No, that's a hard question. It's a big one and it's an important one. So I'm glad you called in. I guess I just want to ask you first, before we jump into what we would do, what do you want? What would make you feel best in the world of just Jesse, not worrying about what anyone else thought or wanted? What do you want?
I mean, I want to be at peace with things. I would like to mend a relationship with my family, but do I think it's likely at this point? Like, probably not. Things are like not getting better. I mean, I've made attempts. Like recently, I went and talked to my mother's pastor / therapist, if you can call him that. And it was an attempt to try to get her to process things better, even though I knew he was going to have a different opinion about things. Like maybe he could break it down easier for her. But I mean, just the way the guy was talking, I'm like, all right, this is the guy she's sitting under. Yeah. He's using words like homosexual lobby and like trans lobby and
a dreaded trans agenda.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that kind of talk. So I'm like, even if, you know, we left there and he was like, well, you gotta, you know, decide whether or not you want to be in Jesse's life. And it was like, he just filled her head with a lot of stuff too and talked about me possibly going to hell. So it was like, this is going nowhere. Like I've been trying. And even though I want to mend a relationship, I'm like, am I duping myself at this point? Am I doing more harm than good? Because it brings up a lot of like depression and stuff in me. Yeah. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want Christy to talk for sure, just because he's the one with the background in kind of this kind of mediation. But I just kind of want to ask, do you think it would be okay to just step back for a while? Like this decision that you're making right now certainly doesn't have to be the last one you make in this regard. You could certainly revisit it later, but it sounds like you might need some space. It sounds like you might need a little bit of time to just be yourself, by yourself, in a community that supports you. And maybe your family needs a little bit of space too, to see what they're missing, to start missing you and want you back. So I don't know. Is there a time component here, or would you feel comfortable maybe taking a break for a couple of months or 6 months or a year and then kind of revisiting this afterwards?
I mean, I guess I could take a break. I mean, it's complicated in my situation right now because it's also a very unhealthy situation. So I guess it's kind of like why I awkwardly just called in, because I'm trying to like rationalize myself. It's also kind of unhealthy in the sense as though if I pull away, I feel as though I'm going to be stalked, like by my family. It's already happened. Like during the time I started tea, I had my family arrive to the clinic afterwards and harass people. I had people circling my house the morning of me leaving. So it's like, I'm trying to be a peacemaker. And at the same time, I'm also, I don't know, I'm not really afraid for my life, but it's also like, I don't feel like I can get away. So, and they live so close to me. It's just such a complex situation. I probably shouldn't have called and just put all that like out there, because I'm sure you don't know what to do either. But yeah,
well, just having people to talk to about it and give you a listening ear, if nothing else. I'm glad that we're here for you. You certainly should have called, and I'm glad that you did. Christy, Miss O, anything to add? Anything for Jesse here?
Yeah, well, I'm certainly glad that you called. And in fact, I want to let you know that at the end of the month, on the 30th, my colleague Maddie Hollis is going to come in to talk about exactly this. So many people in the atheist community, so many people in the queer community experience that loss of their family of origin. This is definitely a part of what we're here to do. So I'm so appreciate you sharing your story with us. But I want to point out something that you are at the same time trying to answer the question of, should I or shouldn't I have my family in my life? But you're telling us at the same time that it's not really a question, because a question has to give you the opportunity to say no. And the truth is, I don't hear you feeling like you have the right to say no. And so that means that it's not a question here. And so I would really want to encourage you first and foremost to focus on your safety, whether that means, getting the hell out of Dodge so that you don't have that looming threat hanging over your head. Or, unfortunately, if that means playing nice to whatever extent you feel is appropriate, certainly not what I would wish for you. But I want to first and foremost make sure that you're staying safe, whatever that seems to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm safe. I don't think I would be like harmed, but yeah, I know it's such a complicated question, but yeah, I'm not. I'm just not sure how to like what to do about it, because I guess I don't really feel like I have an option, and I'm sure maybe this isn't the best time to talk about it, but like yeah, there's not much I really can do, because I mean, I want to work things out, and that doesn't work. And then if I try to get away, I can't. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation for now. And yeah, I don't know. I feel bad now. I feel like this is going to nowhere, but.
Do you have an online community that you can talk with and feel supported by? I know a lot of the time, in situations where physically we can't be where we want or need to be, online is a safe haven. Do you have a community there?
No, and I probably should, but I can always look into it. It'd probably be for the best.
Yeah, if you wanted to check out, we have a Secular Sexuality Discord, where people who have experienced very similar things and people who watch this show get together and talk with each other, both in text format and voice calls. And it can be a really, really great place to be together and have that kind of support. So we have the link to the invite, the Discord, on the lower third. I'm not sure if you're watching your screen right now, but certainly go back and check that out. That could be a good first stop. And then hopefully people there can send you links to additional sites, additional communities that you can be a part of and utilize.
Yeah, and certainly there are some great trans resources, the Trevor Project kind of chief among them, but I would also encourage you to look at recoveringfromreligion.org. They certainly will have a lot of great resources and hopefully be able to point you towards something in your area that can give you a little bit of extra support. That being said, Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear it, but I just want to point out, in case there aren't enough people in your life saying this is a shitty situation. The fact that it hurts means that it's shitty situation. It's not because of who you are. It's not because you're not strong enough. It's not because you aren't brave enough or any of that kind of crap. It hurts because this is something that no human person should be asked to do. This is not a situation that you should have ever been put in. And so I know that me saying that doesn't make it go away, but I want to make sure to denormalize this. You know, when we're talking about families, we're talking about the, you know, model that we use for the world. We view the rest of the world through the way were brought up, through the people that we knew growing up. And I just want to let you know that this kind of behavior is not okay.
Yeah, and I mean, that's part of the problem, I think, because there's a lot of like guilt and stuff embedded in me, and like a lot of indoctrination. And I mean, I've dealt with that okay lately. Like, I'm better than I used to be with, like, you know, not really falling prey to, like, you know, that stuff. But still, it bothers me. So I feel like instead of like maybe handling things the way I should have, or standing up for myself, like kind of an easy target. But
Yeah.
There's a book, I can't remember the author. It's called like Emotional Blackmail, and it talks a lot about, it's mostly about you know, like parent stuff a lot of the time, and religion's kind of an extra layer on top there, but it talks a lot about the way people will use guilt that make us feel like we're the bad guy in a situation that we are not the person like perpetrating these choices in. Like, you are, you know, the person that you are, and that is a wonderful thing. Like, you don't have anything to feel guilty about, and it can be a really hard thing to like break out of that cycle of feeling guilt, because sometimes like these situations kind of like bank it. It's like, I did the nice thing, and then they feed more guilt, and the more guilt they have, the more it keeps you on the hook. And trying to get kind of off that treadmill can be really difficult. I've had some relationships in my life like that, and it was a book that I used, and it helped me a lot. I actually ended up with a really positive relationship with that person in the end. But yeah, like trying to, like, the guilt will eat away at you, and it's not yours to deal with. Like, it's not, you didn't do anything to earn it. You didn't do anything for it to land on you, and trying to like get past those feelings can be really hard. And that's one thing that helped me, for what it may or may not be worth.
Yeah, and I think you're talking about Emotional Blackmail by Susan Forward.
Yes.
When I'll have a link to that in the show notes as well.
Well, thank you. Thanks for your time. I didn't mean to throw you guys off or anything.
No, again, we're very, very happy that you called. This is why we have this show. We have this show so that people like you can call in, so that you can call in. If you feel comfortable in future weeks updating us, letting us know how you're doing, if something changes, if you have another question, especially as you hopefully dive into the Discord a little bit and reach out to Recovering from Religion or the Trevor Project, reading the books that we'll link in this description. We're happy to continue this conversation with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially on July 30th, when, again, Maddie Hollis will be here to discuss family of origin and a lot of those kinds of pains. So I appreciate you listening. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. Thank you. I'll give it a listen and look at some of the links you sent. So thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Jesse.
Take care.
Stay safe. Oof. It was very sweet of him to worry about like the production of the show. Like, I don't want to throw you off. No, this is why we're here. We're here for you. So I'm very, very glad he called in.
Yeah, well, it just, I don't want to be too basic about it, but it just goes to circle again and again. What is the purpose of community? Why does it matter that we're having this show and having these conversations? It's because we need to support one another and point towards those resources, whether it's finding the right book or just knowing that the situation you're experiencing is normal or not normal or whatever else. We're a social species. So I just so appreciate the ACA and being part of this community as we, work to do all that.